All right. I think we're good to go then. I got one headphone in because I'm cool. Let's go. Welcome, all you plus two comedy modifiers, back to Let's Do a Thing.
Yay!
So today we are going to look back at my plus two comedy, or my plus two horror shorts. These are three shorts that I entered into Nick Nocturne's Nightmind Candy Bowl. And I don't get a chance to talk about these things very often because I'm not a horror guy. I'm the comedian guy, or the gamer guy, or the wrestling guy, and not really the horror guy. So we're going to talk horror today. These are three shorts that I'm very proud of, and we're going to add some audio commentary to it. If you've joined live on the stream, we just watched them. We had a small film festival. If you are joining us via YouTube, I trust that you'll go watch them because I'm going to spoil everything. I'm going to assume you've already watched them as we talk about them. So let's do some audio commentary. So this is my first short that I did for the Candy Bowl. This was part of the 2019 Candy Bowl that Nick Nocturne was doing, and this is called ASMR. So we'll watch this, and I'll pause it and give you like little details about stuff.
Hello, and welcome to this ASMR video. This video will be full of ASMR triggers that are meant to stimulate your brain. It'll feel like a little tingle in the back of your head. If you begin to feel these tingles, let them happen.
I'm not sensitive to ASMR, but I have had a few people tell me that they actually did try this with headphones on. They really tried like to get the ASMR tingles, and it did work for them until it got like really, really horrible for them. So also I had this idea that this shirt looked like snow, like a snowy TV, like the shirt that I'm wearing, not this Jurassic Park shirt. The shirt that I'm wearing looked like snow, so that's why I chose this shirt. I don't know. I'm also in this chair.
They're good. It's good to stimulate the brain.
Foreshadowing, stimulating the brain.
For this to work best, it is best if you can focus solely on the sounds. So get into a comfortable position.
I mean, don't do this now. This is for commentary.
For this experience, there's no need to look at the screen. You can open your eyes, or you can keep them closed.
Yeah, so I put very particular wording there. You can open your eyes, and open your eyes is something I say a bunch of times because in the end I'm talking to someone that's in a coma. So it's a very important phrasing that I say. You can open your eyes, or you can keep them closed, because I'm implying that the person that I'm talking to's eyes are already closed, and if you're watching this, I also assume that your eyes are open. So that's supposed to like be a hint. I don't know if anyone ever caught that.
The choice is up to you. In this video, we'll be role-playing an average day. It is an average, beautiful autumn day.
I make so many mouth noises I'm unaware of.
Wind blows through the trees full of crisp leaves.
I learned this from an actual ASMR video I watched, that this was supposed to be the wind, and I thought it was so fun. I was like, ooh, noisy spirit fingers, so that's why I do that.
Decide today is a great day to do some yard work. So you decide to rake some leaves.
Again, this is every ASMR video I watched to do research, was people using a brush on the microphone.
Feels good to get up and do some work.
It feels good to get up. It's again, I'm trying to imply like this is actually someone trying to get you to wake up from a coma.
Be surrounded by nature. Take in all the beauty around
Is it a Green Day reference? Yeah, it's a Green Day reference as well.
Oh, okay. It's not time to go yet. You decide to go back inside.
Yeah, so this is supposed to represent the mind of the person I'm talking to rejecting the idea of a car keys, because subconsciously they know they were in a car accident, so they reject car keys.
You walk through the dry, crisp leaves as you head back into your home.
A lot of people that tried this, like tried to do it with headphones, said that they stopped at this moment because the chips are so loud. In truth, this was supposed to be a big hint, because we spent so much time raking leaves in the beginning that now you're walking through the leaves would imply that you didn't actually rake leaves. Again, I don't think anyone got that, but that was kind of my thought in making this. It is really loud. Nor does it sound like leaves.
Once inside, you decide it's time for some lunch. So you open up your fridge and you grab yourself a nice...
Yeah, so right there, the fridge opening was supposed to be that beeping. I don't know if that communicated right, but that was the idea. Was the beeping? The beeping is throughout because it's actually an EKG, but I don't know if the beeping being the opening of a fridge works.
Cold beer. Open the fridge and you grab yourself a nice cold soda.
Yeah, so again, this is me trying to subtly imply that the mind is fighting against drinking because it's a drunk driving accident, so it goes from a beer to a soda. That was a bit loud. Hey, bring back vanilla Coke.
Decide that you're not in the mood to cook. You're just gonna grab some leftover sandwiches from the day before. You undo the foil.
Foil was in like a lot of the ASMR videos I watched as well, which is why I included it here.
You take a nice big bite. It tastes even better than you remember.
Of leftover sandwich.
It's been so long since you had one of these sandwiches. It's
Again, I'm implying you haven't eaten in a long time because you're in a coma.
an eye-opening experience.
Eye-opening again.
And then you take another sip of your drink.
It becomes the beer again. It changed to a soda, but when I go to drink, it becomes the beer again. That was supposed to be a big clue. Also, this is dumb. There are 3 drinks to my right. There's the beer that I opened just for the sound. There's the soda that I opened. And then there's this bottle, which is a beer with water in it, because I thought actually drinking beer would get me flagged. Even though it clearly still looks like I'm drinking beer, I wanted to be able to have the argument like, nah, it's a bottle full of water. Ah, that's such a bad noise. I don't know why people like that in ASMR.
You could have 2 or 3 more of those if you wanted.
Again, doing the drinking thing.
Fills up your stomach until you're completely satisfied. Then you realize it's time to go.
Thanks for the compliments in
Car
chat.
keys. So you grab your car keys. You grab your car key. You grab your car keys. So you grab your car key.
Right there. So it's a white flash every time I do one of those things. But in that one instant, I'm going back frame by frame, it's a car crash. Just for a frame.
Grab your car keys. It's time to go. You put the key in it. Open the door.
That I have in my hand is actually something I got from a lock picking kick. kit, which is why I have like a random car key that I could stick into a random thing. It's from a lock picking kit that I got. I could never pick that lock, but I did learn how to pick some other locks.
And you sit down.
There's that beeping again for the car door opening.
Deep breath.
It's supposed to be the EKG.
Key in the ignition. And you start the car. You start the car. You started the car. And you began to drive.
Yeah, so again, fighting against reliving this moment.
But it started to rain. It was light at first, but it got heavier. The streets you knew so well. But today, your brain was foggy. You drove right through the stop sign. You never even saw the minivan.
Yeah, so there's a bunch in this moment that I'll go through here. Yeah, so there's the car crash again. There's a stop sign hidden in this. It's supposed to be like flashes of memory, and the white flash is still in there. Yep, boom. Flaming car, ambulance, EKG. Also, that was super loud. So I'll talk over the most emotional part of this because I don't want to watch myself act. But originally, when I was doing that, I had two pieces of tinfoil in my hands that I had formed into cars, and I was using those to make the noise. And then on the crash, I actually smashed them together, and it looked really stupid. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm cutting that. So I did it again with the single sheet, which I think was more effective and less silly.
I don't even know if you can hear me. If you can,
I hate watching myself act.
I don't even know how to interpret this. But the doctors say your brain is still active.
Your brain is still active, so the idea that this is tingling your brain.
It was a mistake.
I feel like this is a little too hard to understand, but
No, you're sorry. So please, open your eyes.
back to open your eyes.
Please wake up.
Yeah, so that was my first one that made it into the candy bowl. I'm real happy with that one. Let me cut back to my beautiful face. Yeah, so that was the first one I ever did. I really love this one. It's rough, and like the thing that I love about it, the idea of this is there are three different types of horror. This one is supposed to be representation of dread. Dread is when is the time spent worrying something's about to happen. And immediately with this, it's so quiet and you have to pay super attention to it. You feel like there's gonna be a jump scare. It's kind of like when you're sent a screamer video and someone talks really quietly. It's so that they can scare you. I'm setting that up immediately. I was like, there's gonna be a screamer here, and then there's not, which is what I love about it. So now we're going to move on to my second piece. My second piece is called Mirror.
The very merry
There's going to be an ad first, so I'm going to talk a little bit
sale
while
is
the
going on
ad
now
plays.
at Michael's. Our tree
I don't
forest
know
is
why
on
an ad
sale from
plays
slim and tall
during
to
this
fab
one.
and fluff.
I used copyright-free music, but I guess it wasn't as copyright-free as I thought because it's the only one that an ad plays for because I don't monetize any of this. But this one's more traditional short film. It's also the shortest of all of them, so I'll jump into this one. There's a lot I have to say about this one, so we got to jump into it. So here we go. All right, so a lot to say right off the bat. A few things that no one really noticed that I want to bring up. First, I'm trying to make my bathroom look like it's a public restroom. So I had to cut a roll of paper towels in half and then wrap it around my towel rack in the idea that this is more of a public thing. I also have an employees must wash hands before returning to work. There's actually a misspelling on this that I did not notice until after I had finished everything. I think it says most instead of must. Employees most wash hands. I also thought that this looked like a restaurant soap, and then tissues were just something I thought, I don't know, I just threw in there. This is actually a autographed wrestling poster that's autographed by Bob Backlund, and I thought it would look more like a restaurant or more like a club if there was a flyer that was up. So I framed that and I put that up, which is still there in my bathroom today. And I forgot the biggest thing. No one has caught this, and I love this. But the title of this is Mirror, and I used this font that allows a mirrored image to be underneath of it. But no one's caught that the mirror's wrong. The M is still right side up in Mirror. Yes, you caught it. I thought it was a cool idea to make it just off and see if anyone caught that it was slightly off. It also looked like Willow. When it was correct, it kind of looked like I was trying to spell something else underneath it. So I was like, I'll just fix that. But yeah, the M is wrong. And I don't know. I wish more people audibly told me they enjoyed that detail. I turned it up when the door was open. The idea is there's a club behind that door. Rare shot of me without my glasses. Not a lot of those. Yeah, now you can really see it. Most wash hands. Go, play. I have more to say. So the theme that I went with this one, the second type of horror that I'm going for, is creepy. Creepy is the normal made strange. So I had this idea of what do we do if we make the normal made strange? And I was working on a top 10 list that I never published anywhere, where it was normal items that horror movies have ruined. And it was showers, clocks, and mirrors. And I was like, well, what if in a mirror it was different than what you were seeing? And on top of that, what if it was the silliest thing possible? So I was like, what if just in your reflection you were wearing a silly hat? And I was like, I think I can make a whole thing off of this. So I did. I also wanted my shirt to be non-symmetrical. That's why it's untucked on this side. I should mention what I'm doing to accomplish this is there's a split screen. I don't know exactly where it is, but there's a split screen here that, this is one shot and this is another shot. And in my pocket is my phone that's just audibly saying the choreography. Scratch your nose. Take a deep breath. So that's how I'm keeping this mirrored, is I'm playing an audio thing that I'm just acting out as it says. So this is a shot I had to insert where I reach for the glasses, because when I reach for my glasses in the actual shot, I break through the plane and the mirror breaks. So I was like, oh, I'll do a first person shot. So that's what this is. slightly out of sync there, but there are some really good moments where it's like nicely synced up. Like right there was pretty good. Yeah, so there I reversed the shot to show that it was in the mirror. That's why I made sure I wasn't symmetrical, so I looked different when it flipped, and also that there was words behind me, so you could tell it was mirrored. Scratching the nose again. Foreshadowing. Yeah. The wiggle, the symmetry in the wiggle, I'm very proud of. And boop. And then I'm trying to communicate that I felt it in the real world, even though it's not really there. I think that comes across. I love the sync there. The sync looks really good there. Building up. And crap. Yeah, the sync there is real nice. Just feeling the material. So then I have this idea that I'm going to reach inside this hat that I don't see. A little out of sync there, but it's fine. I remember that took me a while, like the exact hand twirl. And then this I can cheat a little bit because my hand disappears in the mirror. But like I remember all the cues where I had to look up at myself. So I reach in and I pull out a razor blade. The original ending to this was I was holding the hat and I'm looking into it, and a viper comes out and bites me in the neck. That's the original thing I wrote with like first draft, and then the mirror me just dies, and I'm just standing there like, and just in my reflection I'm dead. Lots of rewrites since then. I still have... Where is it? Yeah. I still have this pack of 50 razor blades that I don't have any use for. But I had to buy 50 razor blades. And I was so worried about cutting myself, I took liquid bandage and just dulled the blade with it for safety. Yeah. So in the mirror, I have a razor blade, and I don't in reality. I don't know. The shrug I thought was good. Oh, there's an error right there. If you really look, hold on. There's a moment where stop. When I throw the hat, you can actually see the mirror break for a sec. I'm not sure if I fixed it now. I may have. Go back. Where is it? Yeah. So there's a moment here where I believe the hat appears in reality, which is a total mistake. But I think it kind of adds something to it if you really look in the corner. Yeah, you can see it kind of forming down here. Just a little bit. Just a little mistake there. Yeah. I remember really just slowing stuff down to get that to work. This, I can't believe how good that looked. That took so much work to get the sound right and everything like that. This is also a mistake. You can kind of see it, but I had to edit in my Let's see if I can get to this spot. I had to edit in a fake countertop right here because I had actually left the razor blade right here in the shot. So right here, there's like a fake, it's either here or here. I had to superimpose part of my countertop over top of it to edit out the razor blade that I left in the shot like an idiot. So yeah, I touched the razor blade and started bleeding and put it in my mouth. That'll come up later.
Just a second.
All right, so I don't know if this works right because I don't like where I ended up with my hands, but there's a bang on the door, and so I say just a second, and I wipe my nose with the hand that's holding the razor blade. So when I turn around, now my nose is bleeding. And now I've grabbed my nose, because it was bleeding, with the hand with the razor blade, so I just jammed the razor blade in my nose. Which, at this point, I'm holding a blood packet, and I'm just squirting blood up my nose. And it kills me. And then, yeah, I'm dead. And surprisingly, there's just a weird empty plastic bag next to this. And someone, as a joke, I think it was a joke, left a comment on this video that actually nailed exactly what I was going for. Someone left the comment, cocaine's a hell of a drug. This is supposed to be a cocaine overdose. That's why I'm constantly scratching my nose, and that's why there's a part where I'm taking a razor blade and banging a mirror. Is it supposed to be me, like, that's what this is a metaphor for. And the idea that, like, you don't see yourself the way other people do when you're on cocaine. So that was the idea here. So that's why I threw in that little plastic bag. And now I'm dead. +2 horror. All right, let me go full screen here. All right, so that was 2 down. We got one more I want to talk about here, and that is, I'll run out of time, but we'll do it anyway. We're going to talk about my last one, which did not make it to the Candy Bowl this year. This was this year's offering to the Candy Bowl. This was instead included in the Halloween Hangover because it didn't quite make the grade. Oh gosh, I didn't quite make the grade this year, which is fine. But this is my new favorite just because of recency bias. This is Zoltan's Insane Yam Yams. So please enjoy this one as I speak over it.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Zoltan's Insane Yam.
I did the Z backwards, so I actually had to flip this shot. You can kind of tell because the time behind me is backwards, and also there's writing on one of the towels that you can tell is backwards, but I had to flip this because I did the Z backwards. Did the Z backwards for this shot. I was like, that ruins everything.
Yams, and today I have a very special challenge to take the worst cut of meat.
Okay, so I'm assuming you've already watched this if you're watching the commentary, and I'm talking about cooking a human, and I did research about this, and apparently the worst cut of meat is the forearm. So that's why I do this. This is the cut of meat I'm talking about. And online it said recommended for a stew.
And make the tastiest meal. Now usually the answer is simple. You make a stew.
That's what my research
That's simple.
said.
But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the worst cut of meat and transform it into a hamburger. As always, hit subscribe. I'm Zoltan, and let's go!
So the reason I entitled this is Zoltan. I looked up a common Turkish name, and Zoltan came up. I was like, Z's, love it. You'll notice the uppercase I being like strange looking. That's how it is done in Turkish.
And in Turkish, insane, because you also noticed it is spelled wrong. Insane means human. And also, yam yam means cannibal. So the actual title of this is Zoltan's Human Cannibal. I've had some people pick up on this. No one picked up on yam yam. Here I've already made the hamburger meat because YouTube won't let me show that part.
There actually was
There's
something
little bits
foreign
of hair and stuff
in
in
the
it
meat.
still, but you can.
So that's what
you can
added
just
this
kinda
improv.
pick that stuff out. And,
Also, this is all post. None of this audio is recorded
Just-
live.
all right. Yeah. So first, we want to make sure we hold on to the juiciness of this meat. So first, we're starting with breadcrumbs. I like the
A lot of
breadcrumbs that are
the
panko because they are a
cooking
little
techniques
crunchy
I'm
and they
talking
actually
about
soak
here.
up the juices of the
That's
meat
what
a
that's
little
very
bit
important.
better.
I don't know how many people
crunchier
caught
and they
this, but there's blood on the bag already. That was supposed to look like a handprint, and I couldn't quite get it to look right, but that was supposed to be your first clue that something was kind of amiss, was that there was blood on the breadcrumbs. But I think the way I filmed it, it was too quick that I didn't think enough people would catch it. So I end up adding
Soak up the
grunts
juices
into
of the
this,
meat
which
a
I
little
wish I
bit
had.
better.
I think
Now, with this cut of meat, you're
I also
gonna
think
need
that's funny
spices.
that I made
So,
it look YouTubey.
black pepper. I like the black pepper. That's
But the
grinder on
clues,
top,
all
because I
the
feel like
cooking instructions
grinding
I'm
of the
giving
pepper
here
really
are
adds to the
actually
freshness
for
and the flavor.
turkey burgers.
Now, if you have pepper,
'Cause I know
you
how to
also
cook
need its
those.
brother, salt.
Except
Now,
for
this
I
is
don't
a
actually use the
salt
onion salt
grinder,
thing.
which you'd think would
They
be
actually
good,
that
but
actually
that's
upsets
not
my
what I
tummy,
recommend.
so I don't actually
recommend
use onion salt.
onion salt. Onion salt's going to bring that more.
Also, this is
classic
not a commercial
hamburger
for
taste to
Wegmans,
this
like a
cut
lot of
meat.
people
That's
said.
really what we're going for in making these hamburgers. Now, here's a spice you might not really think of: basil.
I don't know why,
Basil
but I
adds
feel
a
like
lot
the
of
basil
protein
thing
to
was a
the meat.
mistake.
I mean, this meat
I
already
feel
has
like
a
it
lot
just
of protein,
artificially
but
lengthens
I think
this.
basil adds
But
a
I was
nice
trying to make it
earthy
more
taste to
chefy.
this.
I don't know.
Now,
I'm also trying to do
next
Babish, which is
weed.
why you never see my head.
Garlic. Now, if you know Zoltan, I'm not using any garlic powder.
Here are the grunts.
Here we go. Fresh minced.
I also feel like I should have
California
included
garlic.
a bang there.
You know how
Just a
I love my garlic. Now, you might be thinking you need something.
I think
to
it gives
hold
away
all
the
this
game
stuff
that it's
together.
all
You might be thinking about
post-audio.
using the common use, which would be an egg. But I personally don't like adding other animals to this cut of meat, so I'm going to be using something else, and that is olive oil. This is extra virgin olive oil, just like the meat itself. I'm just kidding. I didn't ask him.
I love that joke. I love
And
that joke in
finally, there's
foreshadowing.
one thing, and that's toppings, and that's of course going to be a green onion.
So real quick, I hate this. I forgot how shiny everything is in my kitchen, and I kind of show up here in the bottle.
You need to
also,
face it,
the line
green
that I use
onions
here
just
is,
make people better.
Green onions just make people better. I think that's a little too obvious. I wish I hadn't done that.
Now it's time to choose a knife for our green onion, and I've
Bloody glove.
chosen Sandra. Sandra and I have been through a lot together. I just love the way she feels in my hands. My favorite part about her.
I don't know why this is
How
open.
sharp her blade is. It's just so sharp.
It's going well.
It's
Doing
just
some audio
so
commentary.
sharp. It's just.
I thought that was so fun. Like that weird, awkward
Come
cut
the
there.
choppies. It's my favorite part. Now, if you're anything like me, you might want to loosen up a bit. If you're like me, you have terrible joint pain.
That is
So
a
then you wanna
problem
grab your
cannibals
knife, and you're
have.
just gonna make
There's a
quick
disease
vertical
that you get from
swipes.
eating human
Just
meat
cut your way
that hurts your
down so
joints
you get
and gives
those
you
beautiful
trembles. That's why
green
my
onion
hands shake a
rings that
lot,
taste so
and that's
good.
why I
You
do
just
this a
wanna
lot.
keep
Is
go-
because
Oh, Sandra! Oh.
So that was a very easy effect to
I'll be right
do.
back.
I actually just had blood in the palm of my hands.
Well,
I'm missing a lot, so I want to pause. I had blood in the palm of my hands, and I kind of like magician palmed it. And then at the moment I cut myself, I just brought my fingers in and just wiped it like that. And that's how I did the blood effect. This was much longer. This was cut down. There was a whole part where I'm very obviously sucking on my finger off camera, and I say something like, ooh, a little appetizer, which I think in hindsight was, again, too obvious. But I also was going super over on this because this had a 10-minute time limit,
and I had to cut it for time.
Have duct tape. Always keep duct tape in your kitchen for various reasons.
In case you kidnap a man.
Just take a little bit,
And I almost duct taped the wrong
Have
finger
to-
for a second.
and then I'll just keep everything nice and in place. Now you can keep
Also,
working.
shout outs to
All right. So
the
you
Star
just wanna
Wars
cut up
ramekin I have
enough
over here.
for your burger. So finish cutting up your onion.
Mixing. A lot of stock footage. A
Now
lot of
it's
stock
time
footage
to
I found.
transform this cut of meat into beautiful hamburger meat and bring out those delicious flavors. First, we're going to start with 1 tablespoon of olive oil. It's very important that you
This
measure
is the
this out.
least,
This is gonna be the glue that kind of holds everything
realistic
together.
part of this
And
cooking video,
speaking
just because every cooking
of
video I
making sure
use
everything
or
is
watch,
measured out,
it never gives
garlic.
you this detailed
You don't
instructions.
want to go overboard with the garlic. So just 1 spoonful will be just
And here come the
enough.
grunts.
Just a dabble, do ya?
A
Now,
bug
we wanna
flies
bring
by
in some of
in
the
that
spices.
moment. I'm not
The
sure if you caught it.
spices,
There's a bug
just
that
do what
flies
you want.
down
I'm just
by
gonna
down
add
here,
some
which I
pepper
kept
in
because I
here.
loved
Just
it.
grind that in there as much or as little as you want. I'm going to do the same thing with my onion salt. Just sprinkle that on. You
So yeah, I
might
feel like
not
I used
want
the
as much
grunts
onion
already, so
salt
using
as
it again I
have,
think is
but
weak,
I'm a big
but-
fan. So the other one would be the basil.
Again, artificially
Little
lengthening
or as
this.
much
It
as
doesn't
you
need to be
want.
this
I
long.
like a nice, good dusting here. With the spices, it's really up to you. But one that's important to measure out is the garlic. Just 1 teaspoon of garlic. You
This was
don't wanna
supposed to be
overdo it.
a
Just a little
joke.
dabble.
I say
do
it's a
ya?
joke in a moment.
Now we got to bring in the breadcrumbs.
I also hate
Now, with the
how visible I
breadcrumbs,
am in
you
the
just wanna
bowl.
basically give a nice
Everything is
coating
too
of this.
shiny.
You're gonna mix it in, but you want
Also,
a
the
lot,
blood's
so you
gone.
wanna
I shouldn't
really
have cleaned off the
cover
bag.
everything
I
in
hate
there.
that I
It's
cleaned
not
off
an
the bag.
exact measurement, but you know what you do need an exact measurement for? That's right, garlic. Just 1 spoonful of garlic. You don't.
And then I get angry.
1 second.
At least you see that I truly do walk away.
Shut up! You're ruining it. You ruined my garlic joke. Shut up.
All those sound effects are me hitting my inflatable turret from Portal. That's what the impact noises are. And the moans are me, just recorded later.
Just
then
1
snap back into
teaspoon
character.
of garlic. Just a little dab will do ya. Now, once you've got
This
all
was
that
also
stuff
supposed to
added,
last
I
longer.
always say you want to add something special, and I always like put myself into the work. So, luckily I already have this.
I'm
that
just
I can
grabbing food
tear
coloring from a
open
shelf
here.
now and
then
putting
just
it
put
in
a
my
little
hand. Because
pressure.
you'll notice it comes out of the wrong spot. I
Oh,
wanted it to come out of my
pressure
finger,
there.
but it comes out of like
There we a little more.
the wrong finger.
There. Always put yourself into your work.
But I like this little
Then it's
doblet
time
of
for
blood.
the mixing.
But this was
Once
supposed
you
to
get
be
that
longer.
all combined,
'Cause there was
you're
supposed to
gonna
be a
make
moment
those into the
where I grab it
patties.
and then strangle
mix
it,
them.
and it was going to get like
Mix them
real
up.
violent, but I was short on time. Because that's also why this happens. So this
Sorry
is a
for the
sped up
post-production
version.
voiceover over this here sped up footage, folks.
'Cause
but my house guest was just
I'm going to pause just so I can fully explain this. Originally, the script was, and this is how I make turkey burgers, is you basically burn them on the bottoms and the top. You flip them once and you just burn them so they're raw in the middle but cooked on the outside. And then you throw them in the air fryer. And there was this whole bit about like air fryers are great, which was supposed to be a joke about how like every cook uses an air fryer now. And then also there was a part where it's like, plus they get real hot so you can touch them to feel alive, and that was going to burn my hand. All that had to be cut for time. So it's just 30 seconds of like them cooking, which is also why I don't eat the burger at the end. At the end, I was going to eat the burger, but I never did the air fryer part. So like they were just raw and gross. Also, there's way too much garlic in them.
being very rude during the cooking segment. They just don't listen. They just don't listen. Anyway, you want to cook to your level.
Yeah,
if
I
you
had
want it
a bunch of
bare,
bits
it's
about
well
the piece
done.
that fell
Just make sure you
off
only
and,
flip once and
like,
never
little
push on the
jokes
top.
I had written
Let
that
the
all
grill
went
do
away.
the work, and you want to keep all
I do
those
like it
sweet,
filling with
sweet
grease,
juices
though,
in there.
in
It should take
time-lapse. I
about
think it's a cool
30
look.
time-lapse seconds.
This was an accident. So there was blood on the breadcrumbs, and when I slammed down the garlic, I accidentally slammed it against the wall, and I got blood on the wall. So I was like, crap, I want to do another take, but I got to clean this. And I just happened to keep the camera rolling while I was cleaning the blood off. And I was like, oh, that looks great for a transition shot. So that's where this shot came from. This was an accident.
So there you have it, the perfect burger made from the worst cut of meat.
There was a whole other presentation part where I'm like sprinkling stuff like that all had to be cut for time.
Now, you might be thinking that this is a little boring. Where are the toppings? There's no cheese, there's
That
no
camera
onion, there's
move,
no
I don't know
lettuce.
what
Well,
happened there, but I
is
like it.
one
I like that
topping
it like
I
awkwardly
love, but this topping has
shifts.
to be raw and it has to be fresh. Be right back.
And then again, you can see me in the reflection of the wall.
I won't tell anybody. Please, just let me go. What are you doing?
Things that- So that was just me in my
There we
room
go.
gargling
Just
water.
Lay that
That's
right
just a
on
piece of
top.
hamburger meat that I froze and
Push
then
that
carved
down.
into the shape of a tongue.
Now we truly have the perfect burger. Subscribe for more.
I wanted-
insane yam yams.
I thought the idea
Bye.
of someone with a duct-taped wound cooking and putting their hands in the meat like that would be like grosser and more effective, and I don't think anyone got that because this is the third type of horror, which is the grotesque, which is something gross. And then I tried to make something that looked like an end screen. So that's where this comes from. Let me go back full screen.
So those were my horror shorts. I hope you guys really enjoyed them. So yeah, each one was supposed to be a different type of horror. So we started with the dread in ASMR, and then the creepiness of the mirror, and then the grotesque of Zoltan's insane yam yams. So I will say this small thing before I go, but this was originally envisioned as a 4-part series. It has grown to a 5-part series, and I like using it for the candy bowl. So I have 2 more ideas for these that are still in my brain. Maybe the candy bowl will inspire me to a 6th one. It already inspired me to a 5th one, but there's 2 more of these that I really want to do, and they are connected, not plot-wise, but thematically in my brain. There is a through line. There is a running theme that runs through all of them, and there is 2 very specific rules. And when I say the rules, I mean they're more of like restrictions that I put on myself of what makes a +2 comedy horror. There are 2 rules that I follow, and then there is a theme that's kind of tied into it yet that I'm not quite ready to reveal. I will say that the theme, in my opinion, was unsolvable based off of the first 2, but now that the 3rd one's out, I think someone could solve what the theme is, and I'm not going to tell you right now. So leave in the comments, what do you think the theme is that runs through these videos, and what do you think my 2 restrictions that I put on myself are? Because I am going to try to do one next year, and I'll probably keep doing these because I really love having a creative project that I look forward to, like based on a time of year. Like I love NaNoWriMo, which is November, where it's National Novel Writing Month, where it's like, yeah, that's your assignment for November. Your assignment for October is to create one of these horror shorts. So let me know in the comments what you think the theme that I've tied in and the 2 restrictions that I put on myself. And also be sure to subscribe here so that you can catch up the next time we decide to do a thing. And also be sure to follow me on Twitch, that's +2 comedy, so you can join me live on Fridays next time we decide to do a thing.